Onyx down. Alliance are doing it. They need a little more.
17 of the world's best teams. A prize pool that shattered all expectations. Navi's turn to take back what's theirs. Alliance chance to prove that they've got what it takes to be champions, leading to one of the most nail-biting finals in esports history. The International 2013, or TI3, wasn't just a tournament, it was a revolution for Dota 2 and esports as a whole. This was the year that gave us moments that fans still talk about, plays that defined careers, and a grand finale that left everyone breathless. So, get ready to relive the magic as I take you through one of the greatest esports events of all time. The International 3, game by game.
Let them try this thing. They can go and try this thing.
In the middle of the eye of the storm, two teams found themselves facing each other. On one end, we had the Swedish Alliance, a rising but already well-known and established powerhouse from Europe. And on the other side, we had the Eastern European Natus Vincer, Navi, the legendary champions who won the first TI in a breathtaking and unforgettable way. For Alliance, this was their first appearance in a TI Grand Final. They had built their reputation with a playstyle that was careful, creative, and very accurate. They were known as the Rat Kings, a new tactic in Dota which meant avoid fighting as much as possible and focus on objectives and split pushing. Their star player, S4, was known for his game-changing plays in the mid lane, while Loader and Admiral Bulldog were household names amongst Dota 2 fans. On the other hand, Navi was no stranger to the spotlight. They had won the first international in 2011 and reached the finals in 2012. Their roster was a mix of raw talent and iconic personalities led by the legendary Dendi and his unmatched mid-lane dominance. Navi had already proven they could thrive under pressure, and fans believed this could be their chance to reclaim the Aegis of Champions. Everyone knew this wasn't just another Dota 2 match. This was a game that everyone had to bring their 100%, as it was their final obstacle before having their names engraved on the Aegis of the Immortals forever. This was the El Clasico in Dota. Getting to the grand finals of the International 2013 wasn't easy for either Alliance or Navi. Both teams had to overcome immense challenges and fierce competition to secure their spots in the most anticipated match of the year. Alliance entered TI3 as the favourites. They had dominated the competitive scene in the months leading up to the tournament, winning several high-profile events. Their strength came from their incredible coordination and innovative strategies. Alliance had made split pushing, strategically applying pressure across the map, one of their signature tactics. This made them difficult to pin down and even harder to beat, especially Admiral Bulldog with his Nature Prophet gameplay. Every time their enemies started a fight somewhere, he would instantly teleport to the other side of the map and begin pushing. He became the Rat King. During the group stage, Alliance was unstoppable. They finished at the top of the standings going 14-0, a record that left other teams in awe. Their dominance continued in the main event. In the upper bracket, they faced some of the world's best teams, but none could match their consistency and preparation. It was clear that Alliance had their sights set on the Aegis of Champions. Navi's journey couldn't have been more different. They entered TI3 as fan favourites thanks to their history and charismatic players, but their performance in the group stage was shaky. Unlike Alliance's perfect record, Navi finished the group stage in the middle of the pack. Many wondered if they still had what it took to compete at the highest level. But if the fans paid any attention, they would know that Navi don't really rely on precise dominant strategy. They are a team that I would best describe as having plot armor, or power of friendship. They are a group of players who made the impossible happen because of pure determination. Everyone was really good at their role and what they did, but what made them different is how well they played together, their unorthodox way of thinking, and seeing things in the game that most would probably miss. In the main event, Navi found themselves in the lower bracket early on, which meant they had no room for error. A single loss would send them home. But this is where Navi thrived. With their backs against the wall, they played some of the most exciting and high-risk Dota 2 of the tournament. Their aggressive style, led by Dendi's incredible mid-lane plays and Puppy's sharp drafting, kept fans on the edge of their seats. One of their most memorable moments came in the lower bracket semi-finals against Tongfu, where Navi pulled off a game-winning play that would go down in history as the legendary Fountain Hook. Using a clever combination of abilities, they repeatedly dragged opponents back to their base for guaranteed kills, stunning both the crowd and their opponents. The game was set for Tongfu, and there was no beating them. For those who watched Marvel's Endgame, it was like when Doctor Strange went forward in time to see alternate futures. Tongfu was winning this game 14,604 times, but that one time, Navi won. Of course, Alliance and Loader were unhappy with the result and called for Navi to be banned. They prepared for Tongfu, and instead they got a surprise finalist. Later on in the years, the Fountain Hook was fixed to no longer drag the opponent to the fountain. Rather, it would drag him to the place where the hook started from. But as Dendi said it himself, if it was easy, everyone would do it. Basically, if you miss the hook, your team is positioned to fight 4v5 without your mid player. A huge risk that made fans go crazy. By the time Alliance and Navi reached the grand finals, it felt like destiny. Alliance had been nearly flawless throughout the tournament, while Navi had battled their way through tough challenges, showing amazing strength and spirit. Both teams had earned their place, but only one could take home the Aegis of Champions. The battle for the ages was about to begin. The grand finals between Alliance and Navi were set to be a best-of-5 series. With everything on the line, both teams knew they had to bring their best. Alliance opened the series with a strong showing. True to their style, they focused on their split-pushing strategy. Admiral Bulldog, playing his signature Nature's Prophet, caused chaos across the map, forcing Navi to constantly defend their towers. This left little room for Navi to execute their aggressive plays. Alliance's coordination was on full display. They capitalized on every mistake Navi made, securing objectives and steadily building their advantage. Despite Navi's efforts to fight back, they couldn't keep up with Alliance's map control. The game ended with Alliance taking a convincing victory. Navi wasn't about to let Alliance dominate the series. In the second game, they adapted brilliantly. With Dendi leading the charge on his signature hero Pudge, Navi unleashed their trademark aggression. Every lane saw action as Navi hunted Alliance's players, securing skills and disrupting their strategy. Dendi was everywhere on the map, and his hooks completely made Alliance tactics useless. Navi's ability to control the tempo of the game put Alliance on the defensive. Even Admiral Bulldog's split pushing couldn't save them this time. Navi secured key objectives like Roshan and used their advantage to close out the game decisively. The series was now tied 1-1, and the crowd was roaring with excitement. The third game was a turning point. Both teams knew that taking the lead in the series would put immense pressure on their opponent. The draft phase alone had fans on the edge of their seats, with each team picking heroes designed to counter the other's strengths. The game itself was a rollercoaster. Alliance stuck to their strategic style, while Navi tried to disrupt them with aggressive plays. For a while, it seemed like Alliance's precision would give them the edge, but Navi's relentless pressure paid off. Havost, Navi's carry player, delivered an incredible performance, securing crucial kills and turning teamfights in their favour. Navi took the game, and suddenly Alliance found themselves on the back foot for the first time in the tournament. With Navi one win away from victory, the pressure was on Alliance to respond, and they did. In Game 4, Alliance made adjustments to their strategy, focusing on shutting down Navi's playmakers. S4, Alliance's mid laner, played a critical role, landing perfectly timed initiations that caught Navi off guard. The game was a grind. Both teams traded blows, and the lead shifted back and forth. Alliance's superior decision-making in the late game proved to be the difference. They forced Navi into unfavourable fights and used their map control to secure objectives. After an intense battle, Alliance came out as the winner, tying the series at 2-2. By the time the fifth and final game began, the atmosphere was electric. Fans were on the edge of their seats, knowing this was the final chapter of an unforgettable series. Both teams brought out their best strategies, and every move felt like it could decide the championship. Alliance stuck to their strength, split pushing. Admiral Bulldog's Nature Prophet was back, and he relentlessly pressured Navi's structures. Meanwhile, Navi relied on their aggressive playstyle, looking for opportunities to catch Alliance off guard and secure key kills. With the score tied at 2-2, Everything would be decided in the final moments. Both Alliance and Navi knew they were one win away from immortality. Fans around the world were glued to their screens as the two teams entered the final draft phase. Alliance stuck to their trademark style, drafting heroes that excelled in split pushing and map control. Admiral Bulldog's Nature's Prophet was a no-brainer, and they paired it with S4's Puck, a hero known for its mobility and ability to control team fights. Their strategy was clear: play the map, avoid direct confrontations, and pressure Navi's structures relentlessly. Navi, on the other hand, went for a bold and aggressive lineup. Dendi's Templar Assassin and Havost's Alchemist were central to their plan. They wanted to force fights, dominate the early game, and prevent Alliance from executing their split push strategy. It was a classic clash of styles: aggression versus precision. As the match began, Navi came out swinging. Pyrotechnic plays from Dendi and flawless rotations from Funix Bat Rider gave Navi an early lead. They secured kills across the map and applied relentless pressure, forcing Alliance to play defensively. Navi's aggressive approach seemed to be working, as they took control of key objectives like towers and Roshan. Despite the rough start, Alliance didn't panic. They focused on their long-term plan, using Admiral Bulldog's Nature's Prophet to apply split-pushing pressure and keep Navi's attention divided. Alliance's ability to stay composed under pressure kept them in the game. As the game progressed, the momentum shifted back and forth. Navi continued to dominate team fights, but Alliance's split-push strategy kept them in the game. Whilst Navi was busy fighting in one part of the map, Admiral Bulldog was taking towers on the other side. It was a game of constant cat and mouse, with neither team able to gain a decisive advantage. S4's Puck became a key factor for Alliance. His ability to land clutch dream coils turned several fights in Alliance's favour, buying his team time to regroup and counter-attack. Meanwhile, Loader, Alliance's carry, patiently farmed, preparing for the late game where he could make a bigger impact. As the game entered its final stages, both teams were on edge. Navi had the firepower to win team fights, but Alliance's split pushing had taken a toll on their base. Every decision, every movement on the map felt critical. One mistake could cost the championship. In the final moments, Navi went for a bold play. They grouped up and launched a direct assault on Alliance's base, hoping to end the game quickly. But Alliance was prepared. Admiral Bulldog's Nature's Prophet teleported to Navi's base and began dismantling their structures. At the same time, S4 made an otherworldly play to delay Navi's push. With perfect timing, he used his Puck to disrupt Navi's retreat, giving Admiral Bulldog the precious seconds he needed to finish the job. It was one of the best plays in the history of the sport. Not only did he interrupt Puppy's Enigma, who had Black Hole off cooldown, his orb gave vision on high ground to see Dendi teleporting to base. He quickly casted Dream Coil on both of them, causing Dendi's teleport to cancel. This is just stuff written in the stars. It was simply fate that decided this game. It was written in the stars for Alliance to win the TI3. As Navi scrambled to defend their base, it was too late. Alliance's strategy had worked to perfection. The final blow came as their creeps overwhelmed Navi's last defenses, securing the win for Alliance. The arena erupted in cheers and the players embraced in relief and joy. Alliance had done it. They were the champions of TI3. The win wasn't just about the $1.4 million prize. It was a moment of history that cemented Alliance as one of the greatest teams in Dota 2. For Navi, the heartbreak was undeniable, but their incredible performance in the finals only added to their legendary status. The victory also showed the value of innovation in esports. Alliance had demonstrated that being unpredictable and playing to your strengths could overcome even the toughest opponents. Their run at TI3 became an inspiration for countless players and teams worldwide. This style of play from Alliance gave birth to a new strategy called RAT. After their success, it became super popular and players played it for years. Even today, when the game is not going in your favour, you have players trying to split push and rat while your team is trying to hold on. Admiral Bulldog's split pushing, S4's leadership and clutch plays, Loader's composure, EGM's support skills, and Aki's adaptability all came together perfectly. For Navi, the loss was a bitter pill to swallow. They had come so close to reclaiming the Aegis of Champions and writing another chapter in their already rich history. Dendi's creativity, Havost's fearless playstyle, and the team's synergy had brought them to the brink of victory, but in the end, they just fell short. Despite the loss, Navi's journey at TI3 added to their legacy. Their aggressive and entertaining playstyle continued to earn them a massive global fan base. For many, their willingness to take risks and their incredible team fights were some of the highlights of the tournament. Even in defeat, Navi's performance in the TI3 finals remains legendary. The TI3 finals weren't just a moment for the teams, they were a defining event for the Dota 2 community. Fans around the world were in awe of what they had just witnessed. Social media exploded with reactions, with players and fans alike praising both teams for putting on a show that would be remembered forever. To this day, both teams remain highly competitive, but a new generation of younger players is stepping up, eager to etch their names onto the legendary Aegis of the Immortals. These games continue to inspire countless new players, keeping the spirit of competition alive and thriving even now. The matches were analysed and re-watched countless times. S4's game-saving plays, Admiral Bulldog's base race, and Navi's bold moves became part of Dota 2 folklore. The grand finals of TI3 are still regarded as one of the best series in esports history.